And ladies and gentlemen, again, please do direct your attention to the screen right here and scan the QR code as we do welcome questions for our coming segment. It is wonderful to see such a diverse and vibrant audience that we have today. And with everybody, there's a lot of professional, and we see ladies and gentlemen, doesn't matter what you identify with, lots of professionals that we have, that we all contribute to the startup and the tech communities. And of course, we see a lot of familiar faces as well. So therefore, today we are very excited to have this opportunity to explore the pivotal role that women play in driving innovation and assuming the leadership positions in their respective industries. So everyone, let's put our hands together and give a warm welcome to our esteemed panelists who are here to share their experiences, their insights, and also their wisdom. So everyone, let's put our hands together. Ms. Angie Lau, co-CEO and editor-in-chief of Forkast Labs. Please do join us. Ms. Christina Ong, Managing Director, Head of Business Banking, HSBC Hong Kong. And of course, this discussion will be moderated by Ms. Bauhinia Lee, co-founder and impact venture builder of Anima Ventures. Ladies, please make yourself comfortable, and I will hand it over to you, ladies.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
A warm welcome to you all. Thank you, AEF and JUMPSTARTER, for this fantastic event outdoors. And a warm welcome to our panel, which is Leadership and Innovation, Women at the Helm at the Workplace. But before I start, we've been talking a lot about AI, and there's a lot of focus on it. Humans right now are not the scarcity. AI kind of is now, but that's probably going to exponentially change very soon. So who here would not mind having an AI as your boss? Raise your hands if you would not mind. Okay, so in our panel, we're going to find out how humans, all of us, can lead better in innovation. So thank you. I would like to introduce you all to two terms. So there is something called innovative leadership, which is basically a style of leadership where leaders have the ability to both think and influence others to create new and better ideas. Is the application of both innovation and creativity in your style. And then there's also this other term called leaders of innovation. So that means they are leaders who set clear visions and goals and create an environment that fosters innovation. So all of the things that we discuss will be under this umbrella. So I would like to pass the first question to both of you, actually. I would like to know, what is distinctive about your leadership style, and how has it evolved throughout the years?
That's a great question, Bauhinia. Thank you so much. And I think that for all of us, leadership is inherently there. It is just another skill that actually all of us have. Some of us give ourselves permission to seize it, to claim it, to have that power. Others shy away from it and fear it a little bit and are unsure and uncertain that they perhaps have so-called leadership styles. But I would have to say that leadership has many, many different colors. And most of us are familiar with the very brash, aggressive, lead from the front, carry everybody from behind, and we all forge ahead. And yet, I think in the 21st century, with technology and a new workforce, and post-COVID, in the way that we are all working from home and wherever we are, that leadership inherently is about being a magnet to talent, being a magnet to people and to humans, and then also to understand how to unlock that talent. So for me, leadership isn't a title. It isn't even a role. It is a skill that we inherently all have. And what is it about the skills that I have, in particular, Mine is kindness. Mine is compassion. Mine is empathy. And so those are the things that I lean on. So if I can hear what your needs are rather than you tell me, but that I can feel that those are the needs that my particular colleague has, and I can hear what their needs are or put myself in their shoes and then create a process or a team around them to support their output, then that is my role. And that's how I view my very unique sense of leadership, which all of you have. It's just something that I've evolved.
Yeah, I guess Angie is absolutely right. She talks about the different types of leadership and her own. Maybe I can sort of follow up on that. It's a bit counterintuitive talking about innovation. I'm actually a very people-oriented, a very engaging type of leaders, I would say. And I think as leader, we are not just lead. We need to empower, we need to inspire, we need to believe our teams can innovate. So this is important. I think this belief of power of innovation, actually an importance of empowerment, is becoming a key attribute for leaders today. In order to encourage the team to generate new ideas, I think we need to have a very diverse team of different backgrounds that can actually help the entire thought-provoking discussions, debates. And at the end of the day, we need to ensure these ideas can be heard carefully. So another sort of elements I think that's important is the active listening. So other than just discuss, we need to listen. So I think all in all, as a leader today, we need to be multi-skilled, but the appreciation of innovation, the ability to empower, I think it's becoming more and more critical, in particular for these digital age, that things are changing so fast. We need to be particularly sort of aware of these elements. At times, we tend to use our own experience and provide instructions. I should be quite cautious on that.
Yes, thank you both. It's very human-centric, isn't it, leadership? And both of you now represent different kinds of organization. Christina at a multinational global bank, and Angie, you now lead a growth startup, but you know, still active listening, compassion, empathy, active listening, and inspiring, empowering. These are all things that you have in common in leading different sized organizations. So fantastic. This question is for you because we're digging a little bit into the backgrounds of each of you. Angie, so we know you are very well known for your financial journalism and broadcast from your previous career. You hosted First Up with Angie Lau for a number of years on television. And so we can see here, you are an effective communicator. And what we would love to know is your experience from broadcasting, how you carry that over to being a leader now.
I'm going to spill all my trade secrets. Is this what I'm doing right now? Okay, I'm going to totally do it. That's fine. No, I tease because for me as a broadcaster, it was always being an advocate for the audience. And so even though I was staring into a camera, a nameless, faceless camera, to me, in my mind, all of you were behind that camera. It was very a personal relationship that I had. And I took that role with the kind of responsibility of, what can I communicate? How can I make myself understood? How can I help an audience understand a very complex, a very intricate, a very defined idea that might be a little tough to understand, but in an easy and acceptable way? And hopefully you're all having fun doing it. And so I think I've used a lot of those kind of very soft skills of communication. And it really isn't about how I articulate or how I pronounce all my consonants and make sure that I use my sentences and words in an eloquent and articulate way. It really is, how can I reach you, connect with you? and have you understand the feeling behind what a greater vision or idea is. And so I would say that we all have, again, it's only something that I've honed because I've done it every day of my life for many, many years. And so my practice makes perfect. Not perfect, I'm still practicing. But the only reason why I think communication has been so impactful and effective for me is because it represents my energy, my values, my morals, and myself. And so these are not superficial words. These are words of vulnerability, and these are words that are of authenticity. And that, for me, is the most powerful communication, is truth and speaking from the heart.
Yes, I do really agree with that. And, you know, I've watched you on TV before. I do feel like you're speaking to me. So,
I was.
oh, wow. And then from one screen communicating to many, Christina has the great but tough job to also communicate to many, because she is the head of business and commercial banking at HSBC and has been many years communicating across and leading across different departments and divisions. So I would love to ask you, for your experience, how you do that and how you have, you know, worked on that into who you are today.
Yeah, it's very kind of you, Bauhinia, for saying that. Actually, I'm still learning as well. I guess in big organizations, yes, we do need to deal with large teams of different units, different departments, sometimes with conflicting agenda or priority. Maybe about myself, I think I'm lucky enough that I have been to work in different departments, different units of the bank. So I do have more comprehensive knowledge and exposure about the different parts, how things work. So that's important, because these different knowledge, when I need to address an issue, I am able to know how things work behind, and so I would be able to provide relevant guidance. Or when sometimes the ideas becoming irrelevant, I also have a chance to sort of counter suggest. So I think from a leader's perspective, being able to expose to different units, different types of business is important. It helps to shape the way we talk, shape the way we think. I always encourage people to go around different exposures. Timing is not important. It can be a few months, it can be years, but again, get some exposure, different exposures. Go into an area that you might not be most enjoyed. That will help you a lot after you return, because you will know something that you will never explore because you never liked it before. So I think if the team can have more have more diverse background, as I mentioned earlier about diversity, it is important to shape the communication to be more effective. And again, I think in terms of this digital world, it's very complex now. We need to bring in a lot of different stakeholders in order to come up with the innovative ideas. At times, those innovative ideas might sound really crazy and not realistic, especially in the banking world, which is highly regulated. So very easy that we will say, oh, that's nonsense, let's don't talk about it. But at times when I'm about to say that, I need to sort of call out, hang on, is that really something I should stop it? Or should I let this idea at least voice out, let it go to the air first, that people at least heard about it? If it's really not a good idea, there will be ways to kill it, but that may take a bit of time. But it's important to let some idea, even though I think it's not practical or realistic, to go out first. So I think the number one, different exposure helps. Number two is don't kill any idea you think that's a bit crazy.
Yeah, totally understood. And we will dig into this a little bit further on how a big corporation handles innovation that has a lot of start and stop and rounds of iteration, right? Thank you so much, both of you, for that. So after style comes substance. So we're going to talk about actually, empowering innovation now. So we know that innovation is not just about the leadership setting a vision and then goals, but it's everyone across divisions, teams, or even at a startup, just 3 single people, working together to carry out that vision. So you need that stretch goal, right? So Angie, I would love to hear how you set about empowering your team. And I know that you are across continents now, aren't you?
I am, and it was kind of tough, I felt really personally guilty about that. The perception of, am I, quote unquote, abandoning my team that felt very familiar with me in one geographical area versus addressing the needs of other colleagues who are, in the US who needed my attention. And, at the end of the day, I wanted to be my own best boss, okay? I spent my entire career chasing goals, chasing career, chasing achievements and accomplishments. And not once, and I could tell you a lot of stories, and you'll be like, are you kidding me? But I think you're all familiar with the fact that we all sacrifice a big part of ourselves to achieve what we do. We sacrifice time with our family, we sacrifice time with our children, we even sacrifice our own health and our own sense of well-being. And I know that we have all done this countless times. And, in a corporate setting of which I came from, I always put myself last to build up and make myself available so that I could achieve more, that I could be promoted, that I could grow professionally. And then the startup world came calling. And man, if you do not moderate your own output, no one else will do that. And my off button was broken. And that's a huge problem. And I was happy with it not having an off button. Until I realized that to be the best boss, the best leader, the best authentic self, is to be my best advocate. So, yes, my job is to advocate for others and the industry and the sector. But I can only do that if I take care of myself, which means if I say no to an engagement or to an event, it's because I've said yes to my family or to myself because I actually just need a break. I can't get on another plane again. It's been 3 months of jet lag. Or I take care and I say, I'm doing this so that I can be there for you. So that's what I would say, is it begins with that. And that's how I was able to empower others, in that they saw that not only was I taking care of myself, I was also taking care of them. And, my team are an exceptional group of colleagues who constantly reminded me that it would be okay. And, we have to take care of each other, and I think that that was a perfect example of other people's showing leadership to me.
Yeah, thank you. And trade-offs are so important, especially as a startup founder. You just cannot be everywhere all at once. Although, that film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, wish we could all jump multiverses like that so quickly and so weirdly. All right, Christina, you mentioned something super interesting earlier, where you have such big teams and such diverse experiences, but you are still a bank under regulation. and there might be lots of innovation happening. But I would love, truthfully, as much as you're willing to let us know, how much room is there for failure and iteration and experimentation at an organization like HSBC?
Wow, that's a very good question. Actually, I think at HSBC, we are pretty open, in particularly recent few years, open to new ideas. Again, going back to your questions, how much room we can, it really depends on the type of products or services or the level of complication, how does it impact the community. The more it impacts, of course, the more careful we will be. But I think I'm covering the SME business. So from that area, I'm very confident to say we are working with a lot of partners to thinking about ways in order to support the SME, because most of them are financial. We want them to be financially included. A lot of time, the key pain point of the SME is they are not able to get the finance they want. So we are working with different third parties, not banks, not fintechs. They are the day-to-day data providers, like the Octopus, like Hong Kong TV Mall, and also like the Amazon platforms, stakeholders. We are working with them to use different data to generate solutions for our clients when they need the fundings. So this is just an example. Globally, we are working with other types of partners. That helps a lot to sort of help us to walk away from the conventional sort of types of banking. We want to use what the client we can get from the day-to-day life to help our clients, such that the clients, they can focus on their own business, they focus on the sales. But for the banking part, we can work with different partners based on their financial statements, or based on their fund flows, or based on their inventory records. Those type of things, we help them to sort of manage their day-to-day fund flows easier. So I think we are pretty open on that. But we also have some time that we realize some of the venture are not working well. But when up to that decision, we think it's not working, and we don't think there is a need to pursue further, we should commit that. We should be brave enough to say, let's fail fast. Don't let it drag on. So those are the sort of experience I can share. But I just want to echo Angie's previous point about empowering the colleagues when we need to manage such a team of big size and different sort of different background. I think one thing is very important. We need to create a common purpose. We try to work out the win-win sort of situation for all. Even though at heated debate, sometimes it's going to be win or lose types of situation. Then we go back to what's the common purpose? What do we want to achieve? Then it helps to resolve a lot of unnecessary conflicts. And let's look at it, how we can collectively achieve it. And if we can collectively achieve something, it's important we recognize the success. We need to let the people know we have built something that's important. Just don't celebrate success within the team. It should bring up the wider audience, in particular, the users or the other stakeholders. Let the users and stakeholders tell us their feedback. That will actually help the team to feel more confident. Oh, so this is something people like, this is something people think it's not working. Then they can help them to build their confidence, to build something that's even more innovative.
Wow. Again, this goes back to the core truth, right? As you were saying, Angie. Thank you so much for that, Christina. Very inspired. I think that's also a pretty good recruitment call for HSBC. Sounds like your ideas won't be killed within that organization. So all of you fintech founders, right? Right, so we don't have much time left, but I have one more question, a short question to round this off. If we can sprinkle fairy dust and travel back in time, you're both very sophisticated leaders here. I don't know if you were like this at 25, but what would you like to say to your 25-year-old self?
Calm down. It's okay. I know you're very impatient. You want everything. You want it all. You want it now. And it's great. It's great that you want it all, but just, it's okay. It'll come. With determination and ambition, also the missing ingredient must be faith. Faith that once you know that you're doing the hard work, the rest will really follow. And you're doing great. You're doing great. So keep at it. But don't forget to take a nap.
Woo, love that. Thank you. Christina, what about you?
Sorry, allow me to share something really personal. But can I go back to 15 instead of 25?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. So if I go back to 15, I say, please go to boarding school. I refused to go to boarding school at the age of 15, and because I hate doing all the housework. I want to rely on family members to help me with everything in my life. But when I think back, I should. Then I could be a more independent person. Because at work, I am capable to handle a lot of challenges or even crisis. But at home, I'm a complete idiot. Whenever I want to do a meal, my family treat me like a terrorist, as if I were going to burn the kitchen or bomb the apartment. I hate that feeling. So if I got a chance to go back to 15, I'm sure I will be going to a boarding school and be more independent, so that as of now, I could be a leader at home and at the office.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing your vulnerabilities and your aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And before I invite everyone back to the seats, please stand up and take a group photo. Thank you so much. Great sharing. Thank you, Bauhinia, for being our moderator. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Christina. All right, and everyone in the audience, please get comfortable. I see there's more of you coming in. Please do grab a seat. It is free seating. So everyone, please do get ready for our next segment. Lots of excitement, lots of adrenaline coming up. So everyone, do get ready. All right. I'm so excited. I can't wait for the next segment to begin. Okay, perfect. Ladies, everyone, let's give them a big round of applause once again. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, please be seated.